Alright, at this point, Apple can do any goddamn thing and people will buy this shit. They can have their own fucking Apple and people will go to the grocery store just to buy that shit. What the fuck? What's going on, everybody? It's the Granddad Woolly, and you are here again for another edition of Woolly Reviews Product Data. Today we got a product review today. We're going to be talking about the brand new music streaming service that has been hyped up for so long from one of the biggest tech companies, if not the biggest tech companies in the world right now. Apple dropped some shit. You know everybody's going to want to buy it because it's fucking Apple. So let's just talk about the shit anyway. Talking about Apple Music. Now, Apple Music is the streaming service that has been long waited and long praised as being the actual contender to Spotify. It's been in the works for some time, and it's finally been released this week. Actually, I think in June 30th, they just released the shit. And everybody's already been praising the shit, saying it's one of the best streaming services out already. Shit's only been out for a week. Chill, everybody. Chill, young man, okay? So we're going to look at the actual service. I'm going to jump right into it, and we're going to see what Apple Music has to offer, and if it really is the true contender to Spotify, because we've been down this road before, Tidal failed, and now let's see if Apple, because they fucking do everything right, apparently, let's see if they do this shit fucking right. Alright guys, so here is Apple Music. This is the main screen when you get the actual service. Now it is linked up to your iTunes, so you do have to actually have iTunes on your computer, or if you have an iPhone or iPad, it's already on there. And then you have to make sure you have the latest version, and then it'll have the actual service for you on there. Now on the main screen here, it actually looks and feels a lot like iTunes in general. They start you off with the actual, home screen, with all the latest and, music and whatever it is you want to stream. Now I have it on the hip hop rap section because, that's what I mostly listen to. But they have an all genre section where it kind of just gives you the, what's the most popular out of everything, as well as any other section that you could possibly look for, which is really cool. So you can actually find the music that you want to find by genre a lot faster. And you can also just, what you want to do, cycle through. They have everything from recent releases to new music. So, anything that's in whatever field, even the old school. They got the old Slick Rick from 1988. It doesn't matter. They got his shit here, which is really fucking dope. You can also search music. So you can go search. You can either search your library, or you can toggle between that and Apple Music, which is pretty cool. So you can always have it separated so you'll know. And they have trending searches, so whatever people are trending, or actually what's trending right now for people to search on Apple Music, it'll show. And you can also do your own searches. Like I searched myself, and guess what? They have my shit on here. So fucking points for that, Apple Music. I know my shit's on iTunes, but they got 2 of my albums on here. They also have my EP with a hostile product, Grand Hostility. They have that on there, which is pretty dope. So make sure you guys stream that shit. But another cool thing about this is that when you do find an album that you like, you can just, let's say I want to get the new Pete Instrumentals album, shout out to Pete Rock, and then you can just start streaming it straight from here. But if you want to add it to your actual My Music and your actual iTunes Music account, you just click the little square shit fucking plus. It's a plus. I don't know what the fuck it is. And then you go to My Music and it pops up right there. It goes into your iCloud on your iTunes account or your Apple account. And then from there you can just stream it. You can do offline streaming. You can download it so it can be offline streaming, but you can't add it to any iPod or any other external device. It has to stay within your actual iTunes, so you can't play it anywhere else. That's the only thing. And also, I failed to mention, I don't know if I did that, but when you actually sign up, you can actually pick it gives you a list of artists or a type of genre that you want to listen to, and then it kind of creates that. So then when you go to this For You tab, it sort of makes custom playlists based off what you selected. So, you got the old school hip hop, here. Then you got, Intro to Childish Gambino or MF Doom, because that's the type of music I listen to. And then they got Madlib here. They kind of know me. So you just click the type of artist, and, and then they also track who you search for and what you listen to, and they shape it around there. And that's kind of a cool thing about it. Another thing that they have too that they're really pushing is the actual radio section, where they have various radio sections, and they also have Beats One Radio, which is what they're really pushing. And it's actually a 24/7 actual radio station where they play various types of music. And I think there's 3 different main DJs that are actually on the radio throughout the entire time broadcasting, which is really cool. I'm not going to play any music just because of copyright, but that's a cool function that they're actually pushing. And then you also have the Connect section, and on the Connect section, depending on the artist that you have actually chose and said that you like, they have this little thing where you can actually see what they're doing. Like, they sell Eminem was just on Stephen Colbert, and then they have a video for Eminem coming up. Childish Gambino just did a performance, whatever it is, and they always updates, and it's a way that you can connect, you can comment on it, and it's a really cool thing to connect with the actual artists. And I think the actual artists are involved with this. I don't know if it links to their Twitter or if this is an actual account, but that's another cool feature that they have here. And also you can actually add music and create playlists just like in regular iTunes, and then you can add it to it. So the thing about this is pretty much it's really similar, like I said, to iTunes. It streams well. It's not as the greatest quality. It's not like, Tidal level quality, even though I think Tidal has its drawbacks. The quality is really good on Tidal. Even with actually, I think even Spotify and iTunes match, I think have a little bit better quality than this or any other streaming service. But for that, you do get a lot of music here. They have, I think, about the same amount of music that you get on Spotify, more music than they have on Tidal. And they always keep things updated, and they have actually, with the radio and the actual functionality of it, and they're actually going to have an Android app, which is going to be really cool coming in the fall. So they actually can, have anybody get Apple Music, which is a really cool thing, and it's a nice interface. It's okay. I mean, I'm getting more into streaming services. I'm still more of a traditionalist when it comes to music. I like to buy physical product, and I'll probably download the album, after I purchase it. But streaming is starting to come on the up and up, and I think that this platform may be the closest to it, with it being so closely linked and resemblant to iTunes. I think people are going to really jump into this for the most part really quickly, as probably quicker than the recent ones like Tidal, and people may jump ship from Spotify and come here because the pricing system is good. It's $9.99 for a single account, $14.99 for a family account, which is up to eight people that can be on the same account, which is cool. And they're offering the first 3 months for free. You can't beat that. So I mean, they're out the gate. They're already starting really well. I have more exploring to do with it, but it's pretty much, for the most part, as I'm seeing it, it's just a streaming version of iTunes. So pretty much, you can look up any album instead of having to actually buy the album. You can just listen to it right now with all the other extra stuff like the Beats One radio and the custom playlist they make for you. And with it all being in actual iTunes, that's cool because you can just combine your music library in your actual iTunes, as well as what you bought with the iTunes store. It's all on here. So from everything from that I've actually bought to everything that I've actually downloaded from the music streaming service, is all there, and I can listen to it. So I like it so far. I'm not 100% on it just so far because I don't know how far this is gonna go, if it's really gonna be enhanced but for the most part, they've started off well. It's very familiar, and I think Apple Music will be the proper contender to Spotify, both price wise and music wise. But the sound quality, I do wish it was a little bit higher, but that's only a little bit thing because of me. But for the most part, I think people are going to really enjoy this. So there is Apple Music. So definitely check it out. If you got an iTunes account, you most likely will already have it, but you can get it, and it's 3 months for free. You can't beat that. At least try it. In 3 months, you'll know if you want it or not. But there it is. So as you can see from Apple Music, it really, really looks a lot like iTunes for the most part. It's pretty much an iTunes version of music streaming, like I said, which has its drawbacks as well as its good points. The drawback is I don't see anything really innovative or new about it. It's just sort of like a carbon copy of iTunes, just where you can stream music instead of actually buying the album. And you can still buy the album still because it's all located within iTunes, which is convenient, but I just didn't see anything really that excited me as far as looking at it. As in with Tidal, you can see a lot of new features and stuff like that. But the good thing about it is the fact that it's very easily navigatable. If you know iTunes and you're just going to do it for the general purpose of streaming, you can add music very easily and it goes into your library, which is cool. The Beats radio is a good function to it, and you can listen to all this type of music if you're into radio, or so those type of streaming radio services, they have that. The For You tab is cool because it actually caters to you. But for the most part, it's just another streaming service to me, and nothing really popped out. I'm not saying it's bad. I would use it. I mean, the 3-month trial is really cool. And they got my music on there, so that gives them some fucking points. And they do have a huge catalog of music, which I think plays in the fact that it's linked with iTunes. So all the music that they had on people who are on iTunes, everybody's already going to have it on Apple Music streaming, which is good. And it just makes it a very, very nice platform to have if you want to stream music and buy it, because it's all in one housing. You can, stream the album, and if you like it that much, you want to buy it, you can just hop over to iTunes and you can buy the album, and it's just like that and smooth. You don't have to do any extra work. So that is the thing about it. But I do think Apple Music, for the most part, really isn't anything flashy or anything amazing. But I think it will be that new standard, or at least something that kind of goes along with Spotify. The pricing system is really good. They were smart with the pricing with the $9.99 and the $14.99. The sound quality isn't top tier level, but it is pretty good. And like I said, most people aren't going to give a fuck about that. I mean, it's pretty much the same quality that you get anyway when you buy an album off iTunes, so it's really not much of a difference. But for the most part, I do think that Apple Music will be sort of the closest thing to a Spotify contender, if not on the same level in the months to come or years to come. I do think this is going to be around a long time. Apple usually doesn't make something and it fails out the gate. Most of the things they do will catch on because of the fact that it's Apple in general. But I do think Apple Music is going in the right direction. I'm really interested to see how they're going to go in the future with this, and if they are going to knock off Spotify or if they're going to just be that true competitor to it. But for the most part, I like Apple Music. It didn't wow me, but it didn't make me upset. I didn't find any real super flaws to it. It just really was okay. I mean, it's iTunes when you stream music instead of buying out. That's how I see it. That's how it translates in my brain, and it really doesn't make anything too innovative. But it's cool for the most part. You got everything that you get in iTunes. You got the music, you got the videos you can watch, you can do all that stuff. It's just a streaming form of it. So if you like all that and you don't want to worry about buying music or buying all these albums and you just rather stream them for $9.99 a month, which will save you a lot of money, then go for Apple Music, because they got a lot of fucking music and a lot of videos and a lot of content, and it's a ton of shit there. They got the radio and everything in between. So hey, check it out if you want, but it's nothing more than a streaming service to me. So my final verdict, I'm not saying that Apple Music is a very solid, nicely put together streaming service, but just really doesn't have any wow factors for me. All I'm saying is that pricing is good. They got a ton of fucking music. They got every music or every album that you can possibly think of, which is just like iTunes, and they're very familiar if you're used to using iTunes. The only drawback is it doesn't have anything really innovative or new, except for the Beats radio thing, which is just another radio streaming service, and if you're not into that stuff, it really doesn't help with it. But you can add music to your actual music library. You can have favorites. You can make playlists. The playlists are a little bit of an inconvenient to make, though, because, you know, it's not like you can just add it straight to a playlist. You got to make your own playlist, and you got to transfer it over just like in iTunes, so it is a little bit of a timing thing. But they do have the custom playlist in the For You tab, which I think most people will like. But at the same time, it kind of makes it for you. So if you don't like a certain song in that playlist, then it's kind of inconvenient. You got to navigate through it, or you got to kind of sift through it and take the ones you don't want out. But for the most part, Apple Music is a very good streaming service, and I'm really interested in looking forward to see what they're going to do in the future. And you never know, they may take over Spotify because Apple does everything fucking right, and everybody's already praising the shit. But for me, I have to say that Apple Music doesn't make it a full Granddad approved because I'm not wowed by it, but I will give it a very highly Granddad recommended. So go check it out. If you have iTunes, or if you have an iPhone or iPad, you got to update your system, and then you'll get the new Apple Music if you want to sign up for it. Like I said, you get 3 months free, and then from that, you'll pay either $9.99 or the $14.99. It's a good price, good content. You know, it sounds pretty good. It's not the best sounding quality, but most people won't care, like I said. And for the most part, it's a good service. So I really am looking forward to it. I'll try it for the 3 months. Will I have it afterwards? I don't know. Let's see what I get out of it. I'm a traditionalist, so the traditionalists like me may not want to jump ship to the streaming service, but if we would, I would say this is the best format so far. And as far as the payouts for artists, I'm not sure what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's on the same level as Spotify. I'll find out on my royalty statements when I look at this shit. So stream some Granddad Woolly music and let me fucking find out. But I got nothing more to say. Apple Music is very highly Granddad recommended, so check it out. Flip it. Alright guys, gonna do it with today's video. Make sure you give me a thumbs up and drop a comment. Tell me what you think of Apple Music if you've tried it. If you haven't tried it, like I said, you can go and check it out now. You can get 3 months for free. If you got iTunes, you can just update it. If not, put iTunes on your computer, or if you don't have an actual iPhone, you can get it on the Android this fall. I know they're going to come out with an Android app if you have Android phone or tablet, so it will be coming to that. But for now, just throw it on your computer and check it out. But it is a pretty good service, just nothing that really wowed me. Previous videos on the side as well as my music video. Check those out, show them some love. And as always, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, Instagram. Links in the description below. And subscribe. Button on the screen, button below, Woolly Reviews, twice a week, gaming channel, check that out, and I got nothing more to say. So until next time I take my leave, Granddaughter, Apple Music, they can do no wrong to so many people, so the shit's gonna be here forever. Just get used to the shit, I guess. I'm out of here.